My chef and party planner.
How good for mom's birthday?
You know we can't get this retirement/birthday shindig go wrong.
Everything is almost ready, but small problem.
Why, what's up?
We are way over budget, Kweku. Everything is almost twice the estimate.
Alibaba, okay? No worries.
So with TAPTAP Send, I have got a cake and decorations covered for the year.
You handle the food.
If any extra expenses comes up, just text me or call me.
I'm off today, so I should be easily reachable.
Hey, chairman, it is all day.
Say, no be easy. Your chairman has time and money.
Allah,
Kweku tap, Kweku do, Kweku that.
our chairman can't call you.
Hey, Alande, chairman send them.
TAPTAP Send. Papa no.
Yes, people, still on the Joburg House and Fair and Charity Ball. We're going to be stopping in Birmingham, UK on the 11th of April. Let's go get it. Chips, a home for you, a home for the homeless.
After successfully redefining Accra's skyline with the delivery of the signature apartments, Cape May Properties presents an exclusive unveiling of the tallest residential building in Ghana, offering a first look of Sultan Sky. Sultan Sky, a magnificent representation of the seamless fusion of quality, groundbreaking innovation, and pioneering architectural brilliance. An extraordinary structure set to reshape the concept of upscale living, thanks to its inventive attributes and unparalleled commitment to precision. This master-planned residential development will focus on the building's location, security, privacy, the design's aesthetic brilliance, elevated features in each living space, cutting-edge smart home technology, and amenities beyond imagination, with fantastic residential features which include 24-hour concierge service, a state-of-the-art fitness center, a floating tennis court, a floating swimming pool, a spa, a sky pool, a sky lounge, a movie theater, co-working spaces, kids zone, distinctive lifts for staff and deliveries, private gardens, chef's kitchen, expansive terraces, entertainment rooms, restaurant, and 24-hour security. Sultan Sky, a new perspective in the sky.
And welcome to your Thursday evening show. Time with TAPTAP Send with your servant Nana Kwame Osei Tutu. And you so nyame waye adom akan ho a yamamu nyina akwa aba eba dwumadie so baby a wo hwe yen wuti efibia e ka se eye TAPTAP Send adaroma ema yetimi edi dwuman edi ebrewo eninti na ye de aseda kese ebema TAPTAP Send so madaroma na every Thursday bia mi timi betena na me kofa guest speakers eba na yetwetwe enkomo. Last week yetwetwe enkomo about property investment opportunities in the UK. Evangelist Emmanuel Antwi ebeka ye ho ene ebosa enkomo no. And ye be sign atwa so we do a recap of property investment opportunities in the UK. Then na yahwe buying schemes ewo UK hanoma obitimi anam so na onso etimi atop property ewo UK. And then so Emmanuel Antwi assign ababeka ho oni ebetwetwe sa enkomo no. Na ansa na no ma me mbomodin na me nko TAPTAP Send aso ye honomo na ora Kofi from Frimpong Edu, Growth Manager, UK, Europe, Wabaka Yehon from TAPTAP Send, na yenene entry and como entry TAPTAP Send, na waki a day and a air cost so almost say a day and a alma customers in so aswati, na fi yede a year guest speaker no for tonight, yedino abro. Kofi, Mimoajo and Wakaba Numre Edo Ebajumedi so.
Na kwame mejo so mpacho otemeka.
For the first time, Amanya, any hitches from your end. It's very loud.
For the third time.
Oh, okay.
Welcome for the first time, but 2 times. Internet third time.
Yeah, for the third time. Right. Go be. When you're a brainer, Wababe came home. TAPTAP send us here a day and a air coso a day now per customers in who and as a one shen and so and sana median speaker edinaba.
Which ya will be a numere dear TAPTAP send as well the day by and say ya will be a very very good evening and yet that will be as well say yes take it with TAPTAP send near you should TAPTAP send a descend this car my adore for nom a Ghana. I just say TAPTAP send abedane part of people's daily conversation. They will not go by our own body TAPTAP send. Ya damase as a down kwana ya debre your customers in yina. Say oh show you so and now we customer I'll be later. Now say we Muslim ya ma Ramadan Karim your bumper your mouth say obenya hoden now they are fasting. Now o bumper so abubi ama TAPTAP send. Uye Christo ni so na say we Orthodox kakra dia near ma happy Lent. And I call me oti we praise be so say amount for your fasting no onye eno de
me no net me fee utimi fee
entino we
me who say won permasem bako enye o he menim kra enye o he menim enye ho ya ho
and your fasting face. And is that ojidi ni so na say we Lent period mawa ya mawa yiko yero ho ne bompa na grow one kasa wo body ne wo spirit no. Meanwhile, I also bought TAPTAP send ama business no grow. And then by way of update, I'm just coming back with things that people know, but sometimes it becomes very necessary for a refresher. So what am I talking about today? I'm talking about limits. In a month, that is 30-day allowance, 90-day allowance, and then 365-day allowance. They say, Obi say, hey, say, crowd countries not do so na omo ma ba no mo limit ye say. We dey ohwe we num bia no convert ko krumu dey. Ye dey beba be so amount. But I think say TAPTAP send ye drain your customers on and the entire limit we are very important. You share the standard of living our countries are titi muno. Say you share standard of living now you who say for a 30-day allowance uti USA yetimi allow so be send $10,000 in 30 days, which TAPTAP send will not come to you to ask for any source of wealth. You must also patrol first anything because $10,000 in 30 days. Maybe you have made your savings and it's not really out of the norm. So be send it $10,000. Or Canada so 12,500 Canadian dollars. You can send in 30 days. Or UK at £9,000. And now you have investment here. There's a amount £4, in 30 days you have £9,000 or Europa, you have €7,000. And then if you are in the UAE, you can send in 30 days 37,000 dirhams. In 90 days, USA $20,000. Canada, 25,000 Canadian dollars. In the UK, in 90 days, you can send $16,000. It's not say, oh, send the way I want to me and send them more than that. But when you do more than 16,000, now the £1 will come to you and ask you for your document. How did you come by this amount? But if you are within the threshold, we will not ask you for source of wealth. At first, not question, a taiba, but your regulators, these are the thresholds that they think say it makes a lot of sense for people to be earning in this jurisprudence. EU so in the 90 days, you can have 14,000 euros, and then in UA you can send up to 74,000 dirhams in 90-day allowance. But for the whole year, In the USA, you can send $60,000. In Canada, you can send $75,000. In the UK, you can send 48,000 pounds. In the EU, you can send 42,000 euros. And then in UAE, you can send 220,000 AED. And I Kwame, on say me can final figures we no. We because then 60,000 were hunting this week me dey kwa. O de kwa ebebem as AB our 30-day allowance, we might ask you for it. But if you are a consistent sender, we do 30 days now, once the first box, article, okay, below limit, then it opens you to the second bracket, 90 days. You are still within the £16,000. And then when that box ticks, then you get to the 48. But we started up now, and as I will call 48, there definitely would have to come to you to ask you where you are getting the money from so that we can also protect ourselves and save our license. And I'll pause here. If there are questions from our lovely customers, I'm happy to answer at this point.
Yo, Kofi, medase, ma memfa nipa mienu anamiensa biya omo question busa about sending limit wo honoma no bi afro na tap no sending limit no per day anase a month no eyahe ene de owura Kofi Frimpon wa ba be chirichiri mu wo any question biya ebusa ultimi ema wonsa so zoom ne so a memo akonya na wabusa owura Kofi Frimpon ansa na wakọ na afi mede Emmanuel edino abro na obi ensu ebebusa se anye bia o de ko Ghana se e ko bank account anase e ko mobile money no eno no so no say na ho asem tie Kofi is it a mental account
kafra we dey me na mdum no we dey emfa ho emete one me that's really do one girl Pacho they will send this car for Ghana mobile money no TAPTAP send app no allows 15,000 Ghana cedi per transaction, and then to your bank account we allow 30,000 Ghana cedi per transaction. But with the mobile money no, it depends on the capacity of the person's wallet. Intino tembia ye kase busa nipa ne se wo wallet no etimi fa saying or say efa 10,000 or the for kosani 15 a ebe hange ebe fili intimi en redraw. Intino ask your recipient ne wallet no say na ebe timi afa obi si oh etimi fa 10,000 as one can just say so me 1,000 that so I just would do 10,000 adani 11,000 it will not go through. Intino always ask your recipients to be clear with you when they are telling you how much their wallet can withhold.
Yo, me say obia any question bia me hu so obia manesas na chese say de enchiremu no emu eda hopa enti Kofi ye better see anwumre ewo ne odi abren so wo o last west bia de bejan ya obetimi akana fe agya ha na ya to adwumadi ne so.
Oh, my last words ni say mon koso na mon boye na business no. Yeah man nko yenim say competition no there. They say every day, each and every day, new people are coming on board. But with your loyalty, no, TAPTAP Send still stays on top, and we will always make sure say we are providing you with the best service. With our speakers also, Ima, yabeda wase, Mr. Antwi, yabeda wase say last week only spended time then so wasa baby, and yeah, customers need be say. Send your old share how to invest in properties and on can then the 50% discount can home one next week if you better feel UK until say you might be not point about to make the 50% discount at swama your customers are kabe. But who said Mr. Paul essay or question? But Mr. Paul, at this time, no, we'll open a space for TAPTAP Send focus session where every question with regards to TAPTAP Send, no, you can ask. Apart from that, no, so you can send a direct message to me, Anana Kwame. And I say, who say if be Daniel or call you so Anna A class, you can send any of these people a message. Definitely, we will get back to you even before the your friend say TAPTAP Send focus session. Imam Pacho, the American man, and found also already 50%. And have a focus session.
Kofi, answer now about I'm said Mr. Paul last week or joining our show no so the transaction be a call Ghana or a call inactive number eso me de ma Daniel inti Mr. me send Mr. Paul number amount to see na sign check it na contact na baby on the system no edu why me da say yo
Paul kan akoma to yam usika de enyira kan akoma to
and then enkasa watch the message in number nama why me da say yo rapport the hunjuma na normally no say a koba say reverser from Ghana normally in Ghana the telecom companies it takes 14 working days before they will be able to get back to us and into my Kofi Behwe na yenhwe baby asabre odie no akwakodu na yembo modien na onsenka usika no back into your account yo abusia for said the midi kan yenda sopani sure said the midi kan ye no ene ye toa enkomotwetwe a ye started last week eso last week ni ye di nkomo about property investment opportunities in the UK evangelist Emmanuel Antwi any go through any obema a recap of that na fe yahwe various buying schemes UK hanoma ubetimi ahwe condition new situation the suitable for you that you can consider using that scheme to buy a property in the UK and inti mamemfa enkrato ba ku mienu eno na chi no me ba mene Emmanuel Antwi very twenko me da say
me did young antechwa emre bia am discover for Europe akoma busuafo wo Ghana no me use tap send no fee mobile money transfer easy convenient fast and sounds so free untua hwe me discover mapim tap send entienne also download the tap send app no ewo mobile phone so free na fesika komo abusuafo wo Ghana fa na nyina tap send papa no
After successfully redefining Accra's skyline with the delivery of the signature apartment, Cape May Properties presents an exclusive unveiling of the tallest residential building in Ghana, offering a first look of Sultan Sky. Sultan Sky, a magnificent representation of the seamless fusion of quality, groundbreaking innovation, and pioneering architectural brilliance. An extraordinary structure set to reshape the concept of upscale living, thanks to its inventive attributes and unparalleled commitment to precision. This master-planned residential development will focus on the building's location, security, privacy, the design's aesthetic brilliance, elevated features in each living space, cutting-edge smart home technology, and amenities beyond imagination, with fantastic residential features which include 24-hour concierge service, a state-of-the-art fitness center, a floating tennis court, a floating swimming pool, a spa, a sky pool, a sky lounge, a movie theater, co-working spaces, kids zone, distinctive lifts for staff and deliveries, private gardens, chef's kitchen, expansive terraces, entertainment rooms, restaurant, and 24-hour security. Sultan Sky, a new perspective in the sky.
Yo, abusia for from me Nana Kwame or say to me more kwaba biemu edo eba a time with TAPTAP send Jumedi so Jumedia a year every Thursday be a day ebro TAPTAP send in a kita imu Emma etimi edi Jumedi ebro safi no aba bekenwa yamajo emu akwaba edo eba Jumedi so any year ba between enkomo about property investment opportunities in the UK and various buying schemes are a UK hanamo na near waba become home amene ba between enkomo yi yangasa yenua yeba yadi nyina evangelist Emmanuel Antwi ima memwajo emwakwaba enanwumre ebajumadi so
na yenua me dance pa me say last week we had a very great time and the fact say nipa dodo na afrefre me actually tells a lot say program was quite beneficial. And then so I'm looking forward to another wonderful time. Thanks again for having me, Nana.
Sure. Yeah, that's it. Abia, and then the first time will be a share with Jumedi, so we share with that. Can want some kakra FH and see a case evangelist Emmanuel Antwi or no anyway.
Okay. Mze Dudwana no. Probably know me, and I say, today is the first time I was joining. Mami a bit of an introduction. Wow, na who I am. So as rightly said, I think that is always appropriate. So I'm going to begin with my family. At the moment, as you all know, I'm to ministry. I serve as an evangelist with the Elim Church International here at Stephen H. It's a Pentecostal church. In Ghana, for the Church of Pentecost, they are a sister church, basically. And if Unim Church of Pentecost, I think it's a Unim Elim Church. It's a Honame. I work there and serving the people of God. Apart from that, I'm married. I have 3 kids. We are based here in the UK, living a simple, peaceful, stress-free life. A very calm life, yeah. Aside from that,
Emma Mrs. Antwi mami why Mr. Wa.
Me don't cheer be manupa. Apart from that, now I also run a business called ECA. You can simply say ECA Homes Limited. ECA Homes Limited, yeah, and Niema 4. Number 1, you provide mortgage consultation services. Then number 2, you provide property investment services. It's mortgage services, I think some become mortgage services are obiati as here, ebia opesa auto dan ewo UK ha. Na se unkra cash a beto a ubehia se obebo bisia. Na ye hunu se ye Ghana ya nasi ye community bebre struggle to be able to get on the property ladder for one reason or the other. We have introduced like a bespoke scheme and robotic. Me can say be robotic. What I'm trying to say is yet take box exercise. It's all tailored to what your situation is, and then we offer you a solution that will help you. And so sometimes but because you're more of a bespoke, tailored fit mortgage advisory business, we look at Nipani's situation and then we put the person on the program. They are guiding on how on also and then also to be able to afford to buy in the near future. And that is how it works. You will be more matna your program so for 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. Nyamia dom and almost some your landlords. It's so person to die. You don't have to wait until you have the money. You can, take opportunity of that service. Like I always say, we will have a free 15 minutes consultation service, and then following up, if you are interested in our service, then we will talk to you about our terms of business. So that is the mortgage services. The property investment consultation services, it is more of an approach to property investment. If you say you want to do more property business anymore, you just don't want to buy a place but opesa build a legacy, you want to build a business, you want to build something ochina oma betimi ahwe omachi no maka say ye papa na ye maame edi wei eni gya yen anase bra obebo wa abrochi no otimi si dan ebia enum enan otimi to you know that kind of legacy no, but we are busy, you don't know ebia you enjoy what you are doing, we are nurse, we are doctor, we are own business, we are you know DJ, we are presenter to send ana you know and I say anything na no. When you come, we will guide you and help you to set up a business, and then through the business, we will become your consultant and guide you step by step to be able to build that business for yourself. Apart from that, we also run a construction business into say project be to say an extension, newly built roof works. Me pacho yenye reactive works into one man. The bathroom leak bar ofenya yemba yenye reactive work no 1 month on ye proper construction it's nebia akoya say opeso ye extension opeso ye new roof opeso we sit down those kind of works we can help you say o pipe epaye now friend ya yentimi mebo so no. And the fourth base na a project management and cost consultation services. Into say even for no be or your project amount. Na say o pese obi be manage project no be share cost amount so na be ya enema ebe kwa na kwan so a o contact ya itimi eboa wo ho. I've been doing this for the past 15 years. And the good news they say me an investor myself, so I practice what I preach. Me church and me offering na my yening nebi. Okay, I know say sometimes people ask me say oh bit me akire me. Is we say my yening nebi, my ye bi and na me adom ye hu nim de ya ko school yes ya ye and experience wa ha. Your team are built from architects to lawyers to accountants. A one-stop shop. Structural engineers are when you need any assistance or when you come to us, we will be able to provide. That is just a brief of what we do. If you are interested to know more, by all means, look at your websites www.ecahomes.co.uk. May the better comment section, we email me so and answer book a session with me meet me no komo, and we will come to a fair agreement in the way to support each other moving forward. I think Senana one of the longest introduction when your platform is, so if I'm not mistaken.
So far. Okay, so let's zoom into the discussion for tonight. Okay. This is how I want to go about it. Said last week, we just want you to do a recap of what we did last week. Then today we want to focus on the various buying schemes in the UK. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Nanamida Sipadium. Mepacho, last week, for those of you who were not here, most of Mwahano, Ebia, na Mure Fikakra. I want to just give you a very quick rundown of what we discussed. I think first and foremost, me underlining the importance of owning properties in the UK. Most of the time, it has become as though people don't understand why they have to have properties in the UK. But it is one of the things we have been preaching for the past years, trying to advise Ghanaians and the community. They say, very, very important. I say you become a property owner. Why? Number one, because property prices, they double every 10 years. Historically, there is no argument about it. If you buy a property at 100,000 today, in the next 10 years, abroad 12 years, you can be rest assured to say the value of the property is about 200,000 or more. Historic data. Everyone knows about it, and it happens. If you are not investing in properties, you are losing out. So that is number one thing we said. Number two, we also said, property purchase no can become a hedge against inflation. Yen na yen say enyema bo okosro or rent akosro, tomatoes ikosro. The auto oko asda now we £50. It mean doshe nana. You know, meaning say the inflation level in the country is so higher. But if you are always on the consuming side, that you lose. Obi wa no more. So see so no on ton ade da. De bi ade okoto ade so no on ton ade. So when you invest in properties, because no invest in properties no, enyema bo kosro a, also rent ne be kosro. It's no automatically you grow with inflation. And if you are not even renting na se utimu a, once a name in ekoso no, or property price no ekoso, so it gives you that hedge against inflation, which is a very important element in life, because inflation means that so ene odi 100,000 and I say 10,000 eko to banker in the next 5 years no, a dear 100,000 and 10,000 better no, enti minto. Nature say usika na depreciate, but se sa sika na share investment mu a bibi te say property mu a eno no be kosoro nti no usika no it cannot depreciate. That is the reason why you too for say try and keep as small money in your bank as possible and the rest no invest. Why do you have to do that? Because we are no abrabom na yebo no enye timi sisi, and so where there are issues where you need some physical money, at least you are liquid, you can quickly go there and get some money to support yourself. It's very important. So we said about that. Number 3, we also said it will provide you some sort of boost in terms of multiple streams of income. So obi one more said on to adeda. But when you are in that particular position now, you have become a landlord. It only means that when you rent your property, not only will the property appreciate in value, may can appreciate in value. I may purchase say, but apart from that, you will have a tenant in who is also paying you money, and that's the kind of can become another source of income. And even if you are using it to run a business, that can also come into your pocket. Imagine you have 10 properties. Now will be a year of 500 pounds, profit. Also a month. Say, brand ye, that's what me to talk to one more. That is solid 5,000 pounds a month. You hardly touched anything. If o structure nyama ye, that's the estate and nature sumawa, ubet retire easily. Akotna Ghana. Busumi biano nyamia dom 5,000 pounds ebe so ato techre maso a uzu beti media didi abo brade abo abusuya any community na ultimu no. So that is also an important element of property investment. The rest, because of time, I won't go in it, but one kasano do a little bit of research and you begin to understand say it is a very, very good way of give man another thing, and my person may count say it is secured. So historically, there's only been one severe recession in 2008. And it was a global recession a Haiti property market. Apart from that, you will see say when it comes to the property market, it is always most often an upward trend. Meaning say it almost goes up. Say a bounce down kakrapuna and check na siya akosro. Because that is how it has been designed. So long as that's what we are seeing, we always want to have a place to live. COVID and go for say market never crash it. But don't crash it. Why? Because it is impossible. When the market crashes, it will affect our economy. It is in the interest of the government to make sure that the market is always trending and going up. And it is a very secured way of investing. I don't have anything against stocks and all those investments. When you do it, when you learn and you do it properly, it helps. But personally, I like to invest in something I can touch, something I know say secured, something we all know say wait there. When you go and invest in it, very important. And we also touched on the importance of preparing yourself to buy properties. Now, Ekoko see say and how to conduct ourselves. And one of the things I touched was on our credit. nipa bebre nim sana omo handle omo credits. Credits are very important. It's an important element. You know, when you come to the UK, before the person would want to look at your credit. They want to make sure that you have a very important creditor, very good, in a very good situation. Wakasano ubetumi unu se me de kwa koto ade a so obi hwemu a obi de me pese me tono ebe mame. But in Pembe mu na ya na akoye say most of us we struggle with our credit. Ebi one man obi no twema so kitu ebi over ebi a £50. £50 twia ne mfi ho but omuntwia. Obi also on na ma no agye store cars bebre na afa na ni so obi one man okobo besia kitu ebi na kese ni nyina no emboa enti no ye kyerɛkyerɛ ni nyina ye kyerɛ about, you know, how to improve your credit. I think that's one of the things I want to touch on, and how to improve your credit to make sure, say, you can also afford to get a property in the UK. There are other things that we spoke about, but predominantly, you know, you have to make sure, say, at least you are also in employment. All those things, they don't help. And, you know, we spoke about them. But if you want to know more about, I will leave those ones during the comment session, the question sessions, and then we will pick them up again if that makes sense. But I think, say, overall, no, these are some of the areas you're touching here. Because of the time, you know, I can't go through every single bit of them. And yes, I will be repeating everything I said. But if in common the last week, you know, be big and also you want to ask any specific question about how to get on the property ladder, or if also a question now beside, you know, answer one answer you didn't get the opportunity to talk to me, I think you can ask it now, and I'll try my best to answer it before I go into the various schemes, you know. And you know, me the basic animal na afi me pacho o asimbi bisa. Regarding last week, Diana, maybe we can take the next 10 minutes to address those ones before we go forward with today. Nana, minim say if that is okay with you,
that is fine. And inti for Sabre is all the near Wabu Bossy any say o joining last week so now any question be as a seer Mame Emma any pabes and miensa ehukwain na omon form question embra say question bia ensu eni honomo edia na ne yebetwa so na yahwe when it comes to buying a property in the UK, what are the various options available for people to use to buy property in the UK? Megidi say question bia eni honomo enunti ima yebetimi atwa so to talk about the various
yeah. Okay, that is very, very important. First and foremost, no, I want to say, sir, the government actually realizes that UK properties air cost, particularly in London, property air cost. There are three things that are preventing people from being able to afford a property. Number one, you have to be affordability. Affordability. No, last week, make sure if you want to know how much you can afford, the best thing to do is say when you take your initial gross income, I think say very, very important. Your gross income, your annual gross income. Pick the annual gross income now. You multiply that by 4.5. Multiply that by 4.5. It will give you an idea. So you have to say, 50,000 a year. That 50,000 multiplied by 4.5. That 4.5, a fair idea of how much you can afford within in terms of getting a mortgage. But that 4.5 does not take into consideration expenses. And and obian's lifestyle is different. It's mimic to be able to be much realistic about affordability, it is important that you multiply it within 4.3 to 4.5. And very important. Ideally, me multiply it by 4.3. And the reason why I do that, they say, I know at least the rest caters for lifestyle expenses. And if it be betoswa, now wow. But the average income at UK is about 30,000. That is the average income. So that means is say offer calculator na me fa calculator na me mbo bibi entre so na be I can be more precise with the example na me ma no. So me fa calculator na me bought 30,000. Na me multiply it by 4.3 129,000. That 129,000 no. So what save you 50,000 per not 30,000 per. First I will savings nika home, which is 30,000 plus 30,000. Ebebe mame 159,000. That 159,000 no. Eno na ye affordability. Eno na ubetimi afford it. The average property at UK currently no, is about 240,000. That is the average property. And so if you earn anything less than 50,000, you are in trouble. It means that affordability has become a real issue. It's when you take number one, or creditor is not in a good condition if you are. Number two problem affordability issue. Now, because of that, no, I think say Obi I make a comment but I'll pick it later. Now, because of that, no, the government understands say if they don't introduce certain schemes and help to enable people to go on the property ladder now, it will affect the market. And that is not what they want. They want people to be buying. They want people to be able to afford. They want homes to be able to get on the property ladder. And because of that, they've introduced a whole lot of schemes. Those schemes, you know, they are readily available to help people to buy properties. And so, no, and then no, because I'm going to be touching on some few. Now, I'm say a Drew question muna a bit me PP aba no metimi address some of them. The first schema I want to introduce your big joint purchase sole proprietorship. Joint purchase sole proprietorship. Me pacho say ultra to on joint purchase sole proprietorship. My make check here. Joint purchase sole proprietorship no actually say ukoto dan mo amatoto to online nsase e wo Ghana no ye free bibi deed or land title me person me breaking it down in the Ghanaian term na mate ase mortgage enche say o dan the excess o dan no ene say udin e wo deed ni so mortgage ye bosia e ye ka it dey say obi ka se me kwaji mortgage o pack say me kwaji ka. But what actually proves to say a Danny Awudiano is a land registry, not a type bright adwa. I was see it me ye essay bright, ever dying, and the chess a Danny Awudia. So that title no are very, very important. So abandon no say the average income a work growing no isa. And no introducing that scheme means say me what 30,000, na me what me get 30,000 per annum. Na say me with deposit of 30,000 na met me afford only 159,000 property nemom no minua nana eso egi 50,000 and nana bet me in the 50,000 no aba be come me 30,000 na ye 80,000 na 80,000 no multiply it by 4.3 ubewunu say 80,000 no afi no 80,000 by 4.3 no abeda ni 344,000. It is somebody me 30,000 no eka ho to say no me affordability no every 159,000 I be drew 374,000. Now ensure the reason why this is a very good strategy is say nanasi cannot the be kan me de no ho no or the be support me one fan me kan say me nin din na eko edan ne so. It's no even though I will be na income no na me de ebe ka me de ho ade ato no si ye brie dan ne to na si ye ko land registry a me pemi din na be wo so deed ne so na din any deed ne so. What that means ne say so ochine bi na person no so kokoto dan a onu so timi kokoto dan a the first time buying writer or what in terms of stamp duty no and I say other schemes no on lose ye. The only disadvantage a woman is say the percentage of helper or the boy no say ochine bi ono so kwakoto dan a ebedi etia ne kakra bi ededu ona ebi ono so betime ono so behia amwa kakra And now say obetimi apa accountant na ono na ye adwuma na ma hwe krom befa so a on be boa no no wetimi dia to. It's a brilliant way of supporting each other to get on the ladder. Me wonuane mu a o ma boaboa mu ho we boa we ni we ato na we aboa we ni we ato. The good thing is they are not named on the deed. It doesn't affect their rights, which is a brilliant idea. And then number one, Anna. I think say if you can't afford that, obi one more me ba me nkyɛn na me bisa ne say ubetimi am obi aboa o se me de me nim obi a o hey na wo betina kro we mu unim obi a obetimi aboa o ene wo se wo question na fofo a wo kro we mu me de me na fofo no obi ne wo beboa me okasa I have a problem with you kakra, then you have to be careful. And sometimes people say it with all the right reasons, but I think say abrabona ye bono we have to where the say ejame wo ministry mu no ma me san fa akwanya we so na me fe ntufu kakra say abrabona wo bono you need someone who is reliable, someone you know say ochine bi ne say me hia mo bi say a metimi akone nchen no etimi aboa me. We should be careful of the kind of friendship or support system we build around us. Support system it doesn't help. This particular one is a very important one, and I encourage everyone to use it.
Also for answer now bekosuno anye bia say me share me affordability no and share that enkwanimu papa. Me check here no na is around 200 na 230 no averagely ayehwe endu na me kobusa obi so meboa me ochina bi onipa ko no enye na adwen se one me ne to dan no
there be enuntina midi kan kira say onipa no will not be named on the deed and se nipa no eba beboa wa yefre bibi independent advice before nipa no ebeba so no the lender nankasa no ebe for so ama wakwakope a different solicitor ama nipa na obabeboa no. And the reason why nipa that is very important is say the solicitor no must offer nipa na obabeboa no a special independent advisor uniho to explain everything about the purchase to the person, for the person to understand. Say number one, edanenya odia. Number two, enyo ni nipa na eto dan no. Number three, udi any dan so udu income and ebuano because ni income no enso. Opese we ye. Obesa kire the sources there. Since ono obabeboano no, the responsibility of the payment of the mortgage, has become partly your responsibility. And so ochine bi se nana e decide say my brain mortgage ni tua min tua omba bebisa. So these are some of the advice yes, there is a trust issue here, but metiasia say na say we want to support each other. We do things that will help ourselves. I think when it gets to that independent advice, now people begin to hear some of these things now. It deter Mukakra from doing it. But again, I want to emphasize on it. I say, if we live in a community, then we should be able to design the community to help everyone to become profitable. And so when we are balance wababe buawa, and go do baby no wabe kase mortgage limit 20 giant yakoko bisa minuano. It is your responsibility to understand, say, ordinary income and a bebwa or send a beya usu bedru onomo. It's not things that is what answers the question. Many issues biasa pain. I think someone more majority from research it is quite clear says obi eto daya in most instances 90 to 95% they try to pay the mortgage as opposed to if they were renting because omo person mo keep it down. It's not that is a plus, and I think it's a good thing to encourage. Okay, it's not another number one, which I think you can take advantage of when it comes to the affordability elements. With the affordability elements, there is also other schemes. They don't multiply your affordability by 4.5 or 4.3. There are other ones almost no more multiplying by 5. Meaning there are some lenders if you have a very good creditor, or mobile multiplying by 5. So that actually helps to boost your affordability. So that is very, very important. mubetimi looking into those areas no. Also no, I'm still on the affordability because it's a major issue. My 15 years of practicing, no, this is some of the key issues that I face, which is why I am re-emphasizing on it. Again, with the affordability, no, the government, no, has introduced certain schemes are Ebwa and Crawford. And I think that last week, we began to mention some of these schemes. One of these, a shared ownership. Shared ownership means so what nya dan no na sa wo pese wo to na mom no at your present condition no your affordability can only afford 200,000 but a dan no prime landing look and that's a prime location that costs about 400,000. You want to live there because e hona wadwuma wo e hona wo ma eco school e hona wo pese wo te a otna. In that sense no you can go on a scheme that is being offered by developers. That scheme no means you will owe part of the property, the developer will owe part of the property, you will pay partly mortgage, and then you pay partly rent to the developer. And that is how some of these schemes they work. It is very, very important we understand the dynamics of some of these things. Sometimes when people hear about this kind of schemes now, I think Braba was trying to encourage or try so property market ladder so but now affordability now or struggle based on that shared ownership and of course shared ownership within a certain amount of time ultimately putting itself together ultimately buy the remaining of the shares now developer landlord. That is a very good testimony. I think it should be encouraged. If you feel like currently your income is not enough for you to be able to afford that, but you want to live within a nice neighborhood, you want to live within a prime location, then of course I will not discourage you. You can buy up to 25% share of the property. You don't have to buy 50%. You can buy up to 25%. So anything between 25 to 75%, you can owe that. The rest can go as rent. Again, it is better than you renting. I don't have anything against renting, but I feel like if you go on that scheme, it will also help you. So please, let's take note of that. That is also a very good one. Member deposit is later, but I will still be on the affordability session because I think the affordability, is very important. There is another one scheme will be and I think most of you may know, but that scheme is called the rent to buy scheme. Rent to buy scheme. So that rent to buy scheme, landlords, so first of all, you're tenants. Now you get yourself involved in that scheme now. It means you are able to rent the property, but the rent you are paying will be going towards the deposit. And then in the near future, it gives you a level ground for you to be able to buy the property. But practically, that is designed for first-time buyers. So again, it is a beautiful schema. I think if you have the right credit, you should be able to look at it. So rather than maybe thinking about renting from a normal person, why don't you go into the scheme where if you're a first-time buyer, you rather go and rent for a while, but then that rent will give you the option to buy later. And that is very important. Those of you who are considering renting, maybe you should consider using a rent to buy scheme, which I think comparatively, it is much better than just renting a house. It doesn't give you the option, to buy. It's in the pacho. And also, I think scheme be a buyer your friend help to buy scheme. Unfortunately, that help to buy scheme it has come to an end. The government is going to actually announce the help to buy scheme. The help to buy scheme simply means the government contributes part of your deposit to be able to buy across a certain amount of year, and then at that point, when you decide say turn down but you have to pay the government part. Sometimes the government was able to provide up to 25%, but at the moment, the Help to Buy scheme is halted. They will announce a new scheme, replacing the Help to Buy scheme. So we have to look at those ones as well. Whilst boss and common. Another thing I want to talk about, the right to buy. Okay, there are two types of scheme. There is something called right to buy, and there is another one called right to acquire. I think, say, when the right to buy scheme ni ba so no, who they are advise a lot of Ghanaians. They say, "Mummy, call right to buy." So especially say, "What the council dime no what them more than 3 years." Obia or named on the tenancy, will have the right to be able to buy the property. Who they there because the deposit or the discount they were giving, was very high. Ghana for to do not to me ebom home or they had to tour and dine. But I think the majority of the people did not grab the opportunity. Unfortunately for you, and then there has been a consultation. That particular huge discount now people used to get when you live in a council house to buy a right to buy has significantly been reduced. And after the 5th of April, you don't get those discounts again. But if you are already in the process, you've applied for it and you've been awarded the scheme, it will continue until you get your offer to buy it. And sometimes the discount can be as high as 132,000. But and then normal reduce you are looking at somewhere around 12,000, 17,000. And that is specifically for multi council apartments, and as a council house. Then there is another one called the right to acquire. The right to acquire is mostly around for housing association. So housing association, them now that discount has never been any huge. I think that it is somewhere around 12,000, 13,000 discounts. Listen, at the end of the day, it is something. So that's 300,000, that's 30,000. Now we'll be at also almost 50% of it. I think that it is a real booster. It's not that if you live in a housing association, not say you want to buy my advice to you say start making inquiries about it. Don't waste time. Try and get it and utilize that before and some those type of schemes. So into me pacho mama money and so because me adom no and yema be brave debe no nyame bibia kwan bebre a etimi eboa yen ema yetimi eto. There is another one I want to talk about. The first home scheme. The first home scheme. That first home scheme, offer buyers up to 30 to 50 discounts on a new purchase. 30 to 50% discount on the new purchase, but it has to be primarily your residential home. It is not for investment. And rent. It has to be your residential home. It is not every developer. It is almost a developer BCC Diane. Penidin or billboard so neko type developer so na search neka se first homes scheme. England it is out of Scotland and out in Wales. It doesn't apply to you. England check it. What they will do is they will give you 30 to 50% discount on the purchase for you to be able to buy. That helps the new build industry, because the government is trying to encourage the new build industry to be able to build more properties. But given say there is a real issue with current affordabilities, any house prices and prices of goods and stuff going up, the government has introduced this one. It's potentially for a long-term capital appreciation. You want to buy a property and hold on to it for the next 10 to 15 years. Look out for this scheme. It is a beautiful scheme. I think you would love it. Take note of that. And also bet me wow. Mameka last one now for your questions because I want 9. Now you answer questions. There is something we call a lifetime ISA. And I think that most of you may know. And right now I'm talking about deposit boost because we on more on share need deposits. Now, the lifetime ISA, now what happens? They said the government actually contributes 25% bonus towards every savings up to £4,000 a year. Okay, it's not say who savings are who save you 4,000, who be a lifetime ISA, not say who save you 4,000. The government will boost it by 25%. Some of these schemes, they are all coming to an end. When they started, it was all good and people were taking advantage of it. But right now, they are changing most of these schemes. So, Pacho, look out and do your research and start talking to your banks to find out some of these ISAs now. That's so people are taking advantage of, and take advantage of them. And yes, you are losing a great deal. And then I'll talk one last thing about the deposit. There is something called the deposit unlock. And this is a new scheme, it won't go and find it. You finish the deposit unlock. So the deposit unlock is designed to help buyers to purchase new homes with only 5% deposit. Only 5% deposit, okay? And it is government backed. Government nakasan air backing new home owners. Say obi or 5% not so the bar. Not so person or thought dia. Yet the akane de ben ebe count. Na nipara then 8 media to. But please, all these schemes, they are all backed by two things. Number one, affordability. Because Auton Dino, at the end of the day, Auton Dino 400,000. That's a one who contribute to 5%. The 95%, you have to make sure say you can afford. It's you can use multiple schemes. It's so if Auton 400,000, who are 5%. 5% of 400,000 is 20,000. It means that 380,000. You need to be able to earn about close to 80,000 or 75 to 80,000 to be able to afford. It is a win coming in a year, 40,000. Then you can think about maybe getting someone to join you as a joint purchase or proprietorship to help you to be able to go on the scheme. It's when you talk to people like us, we are able to look at some of these schemes. You pull it back free her, you pull it back free her, near media boom back one mouse, and you can also be able to go on the property ladder. And now I think that there are more, but because of time, the questions never more. Send I can answer the questions rather than me going on and on. Into me the base here. If there is any person who want to talk or want to ask any question about any of the schemes, affordability, credit, deposit, anything, when you ask, I will come in and provide you with any needed answer I can possibly give.
Yo, Ima, you better say and enumerate this insightful information or the about how to acquire a property in the UK. Yo, I wish for Sabre a quine ever honomo say or any question bia ede Emma Ima Oma on so Zoom neswa mefro na onso ode o question ede aba. But answer na mefa questions no mamenko producer or na mefa one advert emfa enkwam eno na chi no mede mefa all your questions awo ede ama Ima enumerate. Producer emfa advert back enkwam.
TAPTAP send. Oh, I was my baby, you're from Calabos. The only boss. With one is, baby, I will be everywhere a day and everywhere they go. TAPTAP send got me covered. If you need to send money or transfer money from Europe, from Canada, from USA, from UK, any part in Europe, you can send it through TAPTAP send. And guess what? Oceania, they will receive it right here in Ghana and many countries across Africa. So what are you waiting for? Download TAPTAP send now on Google Play Store or App Store. When you download, it's so easy to use. Tell your families, tell your loved ones to download TAPTAP send. Okay? But also, when I receive my money, the other tell the world with channel, like my view, hey, you crazy.
Download TAPTAP Send now on Google Play and App Store. TAPTAP Send. It's secure, convenient, easy, and fast.
Yo. Yo, Sabri, Yankwe, na Yemfa all the questions are or at the evangelist Ima. Yemfa Tilly and Fandika. Tilly, Bajo Yetio.
Oh, Pacho Nanamida Semichio, be evangelist Pacho Michio. I think, yeah. Me Pacho, say, if you are young adult person or age or go into getting into the property ladder, is there any age limit? And the income as well, is there any specific income and how long the person has been working?
A very, very good question, Tilly. So the age limit for someone to be able to buy a property in the UK will be 18 years.
Okay.
Ideally, they shouldn't be in school. They don't want them to be in school. They want them to be working. Especially if it is their first residential home, then they want them to be working. The working limit, ideally, it has to be around a year. Now, that one, it is per lender, because sometimes some of the lenders, will prefer say at least what pass probation. If you are a master of the field, so say for example, why you juma or your nurse, what practicing nursing for 5 years. Now what konye juma for within another barrow and that's another trust. Because it is a continuous career process, some of the lenders, after 3 months, they will be able to consider you because they know you are experienced and the likelihood that you will be able to maintain your work and sustain it, high. You are not at risk. But if a first time, nurse, I think all practice here, it is always on the safer side to have at least been in employment for a minimum of a year. That opens you up to more lenders that they will give you very good interest rates. You can get a lender who will say after your probation, which is 6 months, but most of the time, those type of lenders, as good as they are, no interest rates, it was low. So these are some of the dynamics a womb. Kakra. Maybe what you may consider would be, say, if a young adult want to buy, the first instance, you have to think about whether you want them to buy and live in, or you want them to buy for investment purposes. Ask the question. So me bad the 18 years no person koto dan me person a year dan ya obekot name until na me fie until so aware no wetuko. If you want to buy, I would rather encourage them say an investment property. An investment property, number one, will age limits any person above the age of 16, 18 can be able to buy an investment property. It also doesn't limit you with the first issue of affordability. It doesn't matter because the market appraisal, the affordability, is calculated based on the rental market. You have to have a minimum of not less than 16,000 a year in a continuous employment. But they pick your affordability based on how the rent, and then they stress test that. It's if the rent within the area is good enough, then you'll be fine. So personally, if someone who is a young adult, I will not encourage them. So buy it and rent it out. Continue to buy and rent out until you are done with school, you are working, and everything is fine. Then you can leverage on all the properties now. Pull some money out. Now you can go and buy your own house and live in with your family. If that makes sense. I hope Sam I've answered.
Oh, that's a great sense. I am so can investing into the property, because I was going to ask, say, if this young adult buys a property as a man, if he decided to use it, rent it out, is it allowed, or has
it's allowed. Another thing I tell him, I will give you this advice free of charge. Book me and pay me for this advice. So let me give it to you for free of charge. Yeah. Another thing is I will encourage you that when they are young adults or anyone who is going into an investment, buy it into a limited company. That limited company serves like a trust. Okay, so what that means is that when you buy into the limited company, there is something called special purpose vehicle, SPV, special purpose vehicle. What that means is that you can add a point director and on point directors. You can add a secretary and you can add as many people as much as you can. And you as the family, you can set up more like a trust and they can buy into it. So even you are still in Ubet me asset something like that, buy and add your family. And then when they are of age, you can now resign and make them the directors of the business. There were a lot of tax benefits. I can't say that here because I'm not allowed to advise. I don't have the qualification to give you a tax advice. But there were a lot of tax benefits. I mean, Mufie expenses in can go towards that. So long as it is registered to your house, it has a lot of benefits, which when you talk to an accountant, they will be able to help you.
Okay. In this case, your friend is saying, Nana, sorry.
No worries.
The last point you made right now, that means that you have to register the company as a limited to buy into that. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
I'll get in touch with you.
Yeah, get in touch with me. I will guide you on how to set it up because you have to set it up properly. It is a special purpose vehicle. It is designed solely for the purchase of properties. Okay. And then later on, you can add other codes to it. For example, if you want to be self-managing it, you can add a code there. If you want to self-develop it, you can add another code there to be able to buy. But you can set up as many as you want. Or setting it up and or bit media todai. That is how beautiful it is. You don't need to run the limited company for we, and you can open as many as you want. And so even if 4 or 5 people decide, say, I always advise them. I said the best way to do this is to set up a limited company and appoint a trustee. It's the moment for on the crown, you won't be a trustee. Moto we are. Then you appoint a trustee. Maybe say 3,000 or 2,000 pounds. Or no, manage the trust, then there is transparency, there is accountability. It will be a bank account unless the trustee has signed it. So that can go forward. And I've seen friends who have come together to set up some of these things, and because of that, build something very big. So it's very good strategy. Get in touch. I like to work with you. Each other.
Yeah, I'll get in touch. In Pacho, on Saturday, do you want me weekdays? No, tight. Me per se, because a family per se me ba and he will be available just weekend because weekdays and also do feel late so that we can have that. Is that okay?
Yeah. Me bookings link and you see that there are some slot for Saturday, and so put them in. I have to advise though, me pacho ubuki ina obeka say Zoom. Don't worry to join the Zoom because most of the time the people prefer I call them. So I will call you, and if I forget, try and call me. But most of the time I won't. I will call you before the time is out. Why?
And that's Italy. Yo, Obinso, ewo question, ewo ahanomo, ma memfa ba kumfi chat room honomo, embrana fe, yemfa omo saso ene enyumre. I'll say, are your kids entitled to student finance when you have more than one property in the UK apart from the one you live in?
Student finance and you having properties in the UK, they are not interlinked in any sense because student finance is not a benefit. Student finance, a loan. So they are not they are not interlinked in any way. You can be a billionaire if you decide say person makodi student finance so long as they are residents of the UK and they have permanent residency or they are British, they are all entitled to student finance. So it really does not matter.
Okay, all right. Bright now making kind of canon so Ediama. Bright, go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, na me da wasini anumre na kwanya de mami now my question is based on credit score said na Mr. Yimache mono I think say before to me who so say me build na metima build do extend bia ama some banks bimo send me message for bia credit card loans no dey but me apply me fee until me decide say me dey buy me dey apply for school I mean dey buy for professional course bia minya company bia say what your fees na me a ama me tua we see no kakra or check me credit score na me qualify into me tua ma me enti da me busa ne say based on say me da sa loan no so amene sa company no edela almost me month no my affordability ni betimi asa ma qualify for say metima go into property ladder no so na asesan timba me question no
Bright, o question no a very very good question. Now I think sir in the first instance no you want to educate yourself, you want to go to school, you want a loan to be able to go to school and repay. Maybe a question. Loan number the amount, what was the payment terms?
Okay, every month I'm supposed to pay a certain amount. Every month. Yeah.
Good. And so now, what that means is a loan. So whether you go school, whether you go sit down, whether you go your wedding, obi to me ko loan your wedding, obi to me ko loan to go to car. It's a loan. What do you need to go school? Okay. Now the way the loan system works, is that when you are going to buy a house, the loan will pop up our credit report so lender ni be unu say daso say kakaka. Now bosomi no usika unya nyina fa ne say 5,000 o gross 5,000 yet it o gross 5,000 no loan no kwa na bia wutua £500 it no immediately no sa bosomi £500 na wutua na ate o 5,000 so immediately it a year free mu you say no 5,000 na better than 4,500 it no say what sign another credit card biom na wutua 300 ni asia tie no so free mu another one na we ya ni atie no so free mu to say ye betiti is ni na free mu no sika na aka no ye multiplier afi affordability not any problem. Okay, so what you have to do is say if you want to know how much you can afford in the future, there are two ways you can do it. Okay, one kasa pese oboka oba menchen a metimi aboaba meya mawa megi usika kakra nti mamenche o freeway a obetimi akwakoye no menje odododo but mamenche o freeway one kasa ko online a no type bibi ye fe no affordability calculator. Okay, nti no one kasa type affordability calculator. Opo affordability calculator no now bo enter ubenu say the calculators be beba calculators ne be kire fill in within the same with date of birth busia den omo be chichi your personal information fill the nyina in afei bo enter obe kire say na ho beso say si kana mo be kire say beso no wo fill the information nyina in here na so feel say endorse a frame ne mo nkomo. But I hope I see me yama direct and so me submit mine direct and then I will show you what you can do to boost your income. If upese auto in the future ubetimiato. And I may kind of say it could be say you are not ready to buy now, but maybe you want to buy in the next year or the next 8 months or the next 2 years. You need someone to guide you, someone to show you the road. Do you bet me church or say you say faha tiaha. You see, I offer those assistants as part of my the mortgage advisory business, all in the name of helping people for a small fee. And if you are interested in that service, I am happy to help you there. And I think that is your answer.
Yeah, thank you.
Yo. Me that's it. My young quite na yemfa ofofro. Okay, Abi Mbacho question busa question.
Me patron person bisa brother I must say, if you have plans of acquiring a mortgage and I open say usanko school, so you are on a plan of applying for student finance. School no can have effect on your mortgage because it will flag on your report say wakoji loan. Is it advisable say obey your mortgage ni first and so wakoji loan and now bet me apply process the two at the same time?
Well, I mean, Abby, I think you've answered yourself. In the first instance, they don't want. Also, they can't catch it. Say the lenders don't want to lend to students. Okay, so but you have to also understand, there are people who are students, but they also work full time. Okay, so the problem now is if I am an accountant and I have my own business, and I have been trading for 4 years or 5 years, and my business is doing well, my books are looking good, and I decided me koya masters na ma pick evening classes lenders won't have issues with that. I think the problem they say nipa ne nye adwuma and I say oye part-time work and oye school, and that part-time work doesn't have any bearance and I say with the ocean school now. It means that you are not settled. So lenders see you as a risk. There are few dynamics. There are lenders who are not robotic, who are open to the idea of uko school, but we've got to get that right. But so depending on your situation, you can still be in school, but will be able to advise. Then the problem right now, they say, part-time. And I would go school. And there you become a risk. So I want to advise to make it easier. If you want to get, you want to buy a property, many baby, I'm a person go school no. Me ko pay dine wo ho na mato. Me to wi a na ma pay school wo ho. It means na one room mu a na ma pay lodgers a omo bebo me matwa mortgage no. Na kese omo so money titimu. Me wi a na ma convert sa dan no aye no an investment property. Na ma twisika free mu because school near 3 years. Okoye first degree 3 years. It's na 2 years fix crampo na. Ebedu na say dan ne bo na kosro kakra value na kosro a no ye remortgage no twisika kakra free mu na de kakra ka ho. No akwakoto residential baby fufuro na de no na dane HMO and student accommodation. No agusu rent na no so disika kakra bebu bottom. So it is always advisable say you think outside the box and find creative ways ubetimi edenye sika me wo families omaba me nchen omumako school baby omumako school no mabo mama to dan wo ho entino omoba no etimu ena de aka no monafofo na amoso ewo school mu no omutimu a omoboa amotimi atwa mortgage no, which is also another clever way of making money. So it is you being more strategic and thinking outside of the box. That is what all these matters. But in all that, you need a professional advice, someone to guide you. Because there are rental laws, maybe there are section 1, article 1, there are HMO regulations and stuff that you can do. There are like the way you have to set the place up if you want to rent it for students. So it is not just matodime the rentier students. So kine bi nyame mpengu na nko akirikire se fire bi kokosimu a na se wo building insurance no does not cover a building that is suitable to be let to students kaka na babeda also. Some of these things ye can answer you have to understand say it is important for you to take professional advice if you want to go that route. I think say midibisia.
Yo,
thank you very much for clarifying.
Yo, that's it. Ma yenko na yemfa a gifty. Anti gifting pacho yeti when you marry.
Yo, pacho me that's it, baby. But pacho me na maybe sa. Good evening. Me na maybe sa a question about having your main residence and then your kids going to uni,
Oh,
because
great.
Yeah, we've had our house since 2017. It's your firstborn, you now your fairly grants, and it was asking for household income. No? And there was a question that I asked to say, do you have another property apart from your main residence? Actually, because it was the first time I loan. I didn't know, say, because that was the plan. So I person with near to second loan and then second house near Sandy Twasso. My problem is not meaning say, would they consider the second house not as your home? Or with this cano? I bet it's our household income and it will be just left the idea. And I've spoken to a few parents, well, some of them have bought a few properties in this kind of crown more money anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, if you don't get that kind of advice from them, but yeah, I can see a manager or more loan. No more your mom, no more seeing how you tear back. We just didn't venture again. It has been something I've been thinking about. Second one, so as Uncle Unions, I was looking at this idea of getting a house, or they're the same place.
Yeah.
On my down for be a third one bedroom. Except that this same thing linking around us, would they consider it as another income? And again, if you buy that house, do you buy it in their name because they don't earn any other income, or you buy it in the parents' name? Yeah. This other house to rent, It's a area I'm from, but I just wanted to clarify this.
Okay. I think
I'm from a bookie appointment, I just wanted to clarify this.
Bookie appointments, they can extensively about it because some of they are pretty much straightforward. I think that's the last one now kind in terms of
brother and so
I think the last one now kind I said, do you buy it in their name? I think I have addressed this here and I have said it countless times, and I want to
first time about
it. I want to re-echo it. If you want to buy an investment property, my advice from practicing so many years here in the UK is set up a limited
company. Okay.
And buy it in the limited company, and you become the director. You can appoint a trustee and add them on. Okay. Limited company okay. 15 years and now 18 years and now this is how much to give them. And you can even name that in your will. It is which is well organized. The trustee will make sure everything is well spread, and that the house doesn't go to the trust. There are a lot of people who will the house has gone to probate. Exactly. It's me, Pacho. Some of these things are very, very important if you want to go through some of these trades. But on Miss Gifty, get in touch. Now,
loan, it doesn't affect it at all.
The loan, I will be very.
It is on the form. It asked you, I did.
Yeah, I think ideally in Okope loan, Biana, they work on your affordability. Who are dying? Who is sick? Who is say? They want to know if you can afford. So
who say loan? It helps homeowners to get loans.
Yeah.
But almost besides our question, I'm saying,
I will be very, very surprised if it affords but if it does, I think it is an area maybe I would dig a bit into. But so long as it is a loan, I'll be very, very surprised if it does.
Yeah.
Please, I can look into it for you, and then maybe when we talk, I can offer you.
But send the link and the
Yo, made the link so, and I made them a number so at what you want okay with me, and then let's have a chat. Why?
That's baby.
Yo,
better say mommy gifty yemfa ofofro and so hana na wrap up this section. Meaning say evangelist I tight and you ray and yakofa no buy. Call John Ehonomo. John, please go ahead and ask your question.
Hello.
Hi, Johnny.
Yeah. But person me bisa say property ni bi dada na oba ekwa akoto bi na opese what the income support no and no will he still get the benefit of the first time buyer discount nana?
Okay, John, again another very important question. Say who ordained it out? Now, Oba now say person support now. In the first instance, who affordability nakasano, you are not going to use 100% of your affordability. Most likely, they will use only 50%. It is a OJ 30,000 on be is only 15,000 per. And on the best support to Obano. And here number 1. Number 2, age also plays a very vital role. Obana di ebia 20 years. Nasa who 60 years are. It means that the mortgage term normally be man for only 10 to 15 years per. So it doesn't look good. So all the time I say in chronic kwakoto daya as parents, you are helping them with your income, unless you as the parents, you are around 40, 45, 50 years. Nipa akrani bet menya the long term because they will always use the highest age on the application to draft the terms. Otherwise, it doesn't help. If who as the parents, you are supporting the child with your income. And you have to find someone else, maybe nuanom and our cousins be betimi abomo. Now financially, you can refinance part of your house, now it's media man as a booster. So be an affordability ni betimi akoso. So no akora na kasa save be 20,000. Now say who die no, uto ya che, which you say akabe say maybe 50,000 and 60,000 nowhere to area, but the house is worth about 500,000. You have a lot of income in it. Rather, I think that is much more a pragmatic approach than do income support. But individual circumstances are different, I understand. So if it is something you are looking forward to do, maybe we can talk and I can assess your situation and see whether giving all the outlines that were on if not, I will show you the right way to go, if that makes sense.
Okay, I hope you say yes, I count number and then link now. Sana. There are other questions I want to ask now. My business when he said was just to buy as an investing property, for Enclano so starting or turn as an investing property. I want to know more about it, why he can still stay at home.
Yeah. So me link now to one of my number. I will always give priority to the people who book through the link as opposed to people who call me directly. It's try and book it in a because my busy current and I can always attend to you based on your bookings. If you do that, it will be very, very helpful. Otherwise, if you can't get to the link, just text me and then I'll come back to you because within the day, sometimes I get some free times. Make testo quickly say over time, then we can talk. It will utilize both, if that makes sense.
Okay then. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay. John, better say and then enumerate. Ima yemfa bako from the chat room and so or say if I have a help to buy account and I work part-time and my husband work full-time, can we still buy a house, and if we can, how?
It's straightforward. The two of you work, whether part-time or full-time, it is working. The most important thing right now is how much do you earn and how long have you been working part-time. Even if you work as an agency, even if you want 0 contract hour, it is all about how long have you been a 0 contract hour, how consistent is the money you are getting. The whole idea of affordability is that the lenders want to make sure you are not at risk, and you can still buy. You just need someone like us to look at their case and help to understand and see what we can do. They are always a lender out for you. You can approach. So please, let's talk and we will see how we can help you. There are other dynamics. They say all these things, they play very vital role in a property purchase. But I'm happy to talk to you and look at your situation and see what we can do to help.
Yo. Yemfa Collins and so and twas near the Mary Ewie and Umre and be a class betting no the TAPTAP send focus and so at the twas at the amount and no ye be the TAPTAP send a home come or question be contribution be bet me at the Abba Daniel Ewaha Kofi Edu from Pon so how many beboa Sabre Yen call a year Collins a honum na Yemfa Collins Bajo Yeti.
Good evening to you all. Nana, good ciao. Pacho Mr. Emmanuel Antwi so far.
Amen.
A quick one. A question I think say in part last week now we tried to but if you must decline we started that was still not akonya with them maybe quickly. It's about in a crossway like nano church mono in the property no na me dream say the minister mabuabua no to one me the property anymore and getting into a school though I'm already working even as a self-employed as well. That's me person me scam me be kwa ko property me no me need big amount no for now. The omu busa so de betwas you know. And idea will come say okay then let me go to school. Let me say start school with it in the school finance no. Na me dia boabo scan for 1 year. Na fi manye say scan na bia me dia ko start property na. Me person me who nya confirmation from no say is it a good advice like to take it and answer bit me answer straightforward say school loan the jai to baby cry. Because of say one thing so na me account so say school loan won't start in January immediately. It's after some years no almost bet it in kakra. So it may not let's say cause any problem to you getting into the property. To the impact advice at the moment is saying I'm so I'm getting in touch for maybe further advice.
Nana say police be our platform you na OTA ya Collins ya ama give me certificate.
Oh, but when you can check it, so they be this we saw you.
The American say Ima sa question we ye twin shada obuki appointment na ni enka ho.
Collins o question we there
I know what thing.
O gina bontin a ye huru ye ntuma gufi. It's no you better no shada ni ye di hu komo another time. Why?
Mate.
Yeah, book appointment and in this.
Not proper advice. Because remember when you advise it will be very formal.
Yeah,
exactly. You know, book your appointment. Why?
Thank you so much.
Yo. And yeah, call Mary a honomo na yemfa Mary in chat to and then Mary, but go ahead and ask a question.
Mpacho me dem say be some menya konye na me busa massive. Me pacho na wukasa no ka say life ISA no every bank bia na yebetimi abiesa savings na say a government bank.
Me pacho talk to your bank and find out if they operate it. I know that some of them are coming to an end. And you know, it will be worth after this program no over free bank no bank akasa now bank 824 on that.
Okay, say me like say over so to Diana so no more savings Emma no me busa bank Santander no musu there be omo ajai but I don't know
minimum say banks be ajai until me di kan say lifetime ISA no it is at the moment no oma hot but there are other deposits and saving schemes they say money box those things it helps you can take use of it. So when you call your banker, find out from them, say, apart from that, what other savings schemes and a bit me abwa. I think say Nana, the same way me answer so no me too yen animal for say some more save it towards a depositor. A year investment and it is always wise to say you don't just keep your money in just savings. Look at a savings that almost offer ABR 5% interest, 10% interest, and you don't necessarily need to stick to your bank. You can cross banks. You can open a bank account just because you want to save with a particular bank, and find out with the kind of percentages that they give as interest. I know that sometimes Obi to sell lawyers say they don't give anything. It's a me family savings account in Congo to because it come out is about 1.3% a year. But Oko baby to say it be a tied and now all the other places now almost 4%, 5%, 6%. So those are the places you want your savings to be. It's do a bit of digging and see how beneficial that can come across.
Yo. Sena medi esia me se obi asan amane nsa so e wa hanemo abusianfo answer na me fa last one no na me stress bia wo call you so na all the time o pese unya a bit more information about our up and coming programs medi OT media WhatsApp platform no ato chat room honom click on it se uni so click on it, join us anytime bia ba show isu bia no we send you notification reminder for you to be able to join us on this show and any updates beyond so ubenya e WhatsApp platform. So me the link na after chat room on mo, but more than click on the link, join the WhatsApp platform na yenkipi to grow this community. Yo, my main last one no na yenfa this session in C Hanmo and Yumrei. Bacho, you are muted. Go ahead and ask your question.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Emmanuel. I wanted to ask, what's the average credit score that you need to get into properties? And what are the channels or sources that could also help boost your credit score, please?
Okay, a very important question. I won't finish answering this question, but if you want to talk to me, let's talk. So I want to be very clear. I think that a lot of people get this all mixed up and confused. The lender does not care so much about your credit score. They care about your credit history. Okay, that is what they want. So people are more focused about, oh, my score is below. Oh, my score. No, you can have a poor score, but if your history is good, you can get a decent lender. Okay, and so I think check your credit history. Make sure you are not missing payments. You are on time. You are making payments regularly. You are on the the election or whatever you call it register, electoral roll. You are, you've resided in a place for as long as possible. You are not taking any new loan facilities or finance 6 months or a year into going into an investment or going for a mortgage. All these things can have an impact on your credit, and so there is no limit, but your history is very important. What I normally do for people is when I talk to them, the first thing I will say to them is, give me a copy of your credit report. And in some instances, I can offer you free advice when you give them to me and say, listen, you have to conduct yourself well here and here and here, and that's about it. So if you want to take advantage of my free 15 minutes consultation, feel free. I will offer you no strings attached. I'll just give you a general advice, and that will be it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Nana, I think so.
Yo.
Yeah.
This section, the ABC Hanomo. Na mamisha, if there is anything in the chat room, okay, all right, cool. Yo, you better say numeri the ode abraham jidis obia and then numeri or joining or koi sui was soon bibi abs and you're no crampo and no here so person or todain UK hanomo ampo na se or Europe Canada American pa me jidis was soon bibia the quite similar to wherever that they are. I almost bit me apply na the abrom when it comes to property investment wherever that they are. And you may your last words na yenjao insi animal.
Nana, again, no, me dasipa for this opportunity. I think that I don't take it for granted at all. And so there are two things in me. Number one is business, and then number two, it is ministry. And I think that they complement each other very well. But one of the things I have realized, Bob Brano, na ODBBAC, you also have to make sure that you are also working on your life and making sure that you are in touch with God, and the piano making sure that you are not just living a legacy here on earth, but you are also preparing yourself for eternity. If there is any advice, I think say but at the same time, whilst we are planning for that, let's also work on our salvation and try and strive to maintain a good life with Christ. As for anything here than anything else. That is the last message I'm meeting me
Ima MZ NCBA Easter ba work on your salvation with fear and trembling.
That's right.
Intimi questions be when it comes to the property. Imafa will contact details egu chat room honomo na ubia here or services bia no omo intimi and contact you later on for your help na ubia so intimi enya eho akwenya no no so intimi entodan say UK ha Europe Canada America omo nyina intimi emboa obibia yo abusia for ahanomo remember me hokwa me de wo ebesi na enye se me de wo esi hanom ora A class enche bia ye dane ho ye fankrato area ora A class betinam no the tap send focus section no e de atoa so e de aman na se de me kai wo no me sewa se won join OT media WhatsApp platform na but they are not joining na everyday bia no ye ma a quick update on some of the up and coming programs speakers and guests are ye de omo eba show you so na won so atimi join na won so atimi asua bibi afimu call chat room on me the link now to click on it and join us on the platform for you to learn, connect and contribute to our diaspora community. Me fan krato me ba meja jumadie no ede ama Rai class. Producer.
My chef and party planner. You know we can't get to this retirement/birthday shinding go wrong.
Everything is almost ready, but small problem.
Why what's up?
We are way over budget, Kweku. Everything is almost twice the estimate.
Alibaba, okay? No worries.
So with TAPTAP Send, I have got a cake and decorations covered for the year.
You handle the food.
If any extra expenses comes up, just text me or call me.
I'm off today, so I should be easily reachable.
Hey, Chairman, it is for day.
Say, no be easy, you. Chairman has time and money.
Allah,
Kweku tap, Kweku do, Kweku that.
Ah, Chairman can call you.
Hey, Alande, Chairman send them.
Tap send. Papa no.
Yo, I was for meda munyina ase. Sabra meneo kasai